welcome to the simpletest session. My name is Carsten Kuhlwein. I'm Casti on Drupal. This is a dev session. This is about, I want to introduce you to simpletest and tell you, hey, it's cool, just use it. And simpletest is for automatically testing your modules. So just like, let's take a look at it. If you set up a new Drupal site with simpletest activated, you can just go to testing, just activate this mysterious test, run test. Batch is starting, and get some strange results of the test. So that's basically it. Why test stuff? It's about security. You want to increase your own security for your modules. You want to be secure that it really works. You won't have to repeat everything 100 times just to test if the result is really what you want. You're just on the safe side with everything you do, with every changes you do to the module. But really, let's face it, the main reason we use simpletest is because you want to do any patches to call. Webchick will come around and tell you, hey, cool patch, now write a test for it. That's the story why I'm here and holding this session, because I had the painful experience that after a year of rewriting a patch on, and hey, API changed and stuff, and it was 10 times ready to be committed and then not again, and failed, and it was a tough fight. And then finally, really, Webchick came around and said, write a test. I just hate it. Took me 1 month to come over my pride and really write a test, and I expected it to take 3 days, and in the end it was 1 day, and I was quite happy to have done it. And so I just can only recommend to use simpletest for your modules, for anything you do in Drupal, and Drupal 7 will be the best Drupal version we have because it's entirely tested. Nothing comes into core without a proper test. So it's not a question why test stuff you do, just do it because everybody needs it. What is simpletest? Simpletest is part a web crawler because it uses wget for grabbing browser output and load it into a DOM parser. You then can use simple XML to query it. It's a tool for us. We can use it to no, not you can use it to as an API framework. It helps us to create users, nodes, and some things we need, maybe random strings. It's object-oriented programming, so we can easily reuse our own test case and enhance the basic test. And finally, it's not Selenium. Simpletest is just a functional test. You just see if your model works. It's a unit test. You just see if your functions in an isolation still working. It's not a real test of integration. Hey, my website is done now. Are those workflows really running? For this, I would really recommend you to use Selenium. So simpletest is a really basic test of if I do an adding function 1 + 1 and the results should be 2, I can run a simpletest for this and do a unit test as such. And complete isolation, or maybe if I have a module that prints this too on a website, I can use a web test case and we shortly take a look on this and just see if the tool is printed on our website. Then, why simpletest? Every time I hold this session, people ask me, hey, PHP unit is so much cooler, PHP unit is widespread, we love PHP unit, simpletest just sucks. Gladly, I asked chicks on Tuesday why they chose simpletest, and the main point about simpletest is that PHP unit doesn't have a browser. It doesn't have those wget thing where it downloads the HTML, and the problem with Drupal is if we produce a web page, we do go through a lot of APIs. We just can't test Drupal set message if we don't test the output on the side. If Drupal really outputs the string, if we just use our module to use this API call, nobody knows that it really happens. So we have to grab the HTML, parse it, and see if our message is on the site. And the second thing why we should use simpletest, because it's now deeply integrated into Drupal. As I said before, Drupal Core is completely tested by this. Contribute modules can easily be tested as well now. If you have a good tested module with some test integrations, you can just go to the infrastructures, webmaster infrastructure issue queue, find an issue, hey, my module wants automatic testing, and then you, as cool as core, nobody can upload a patch for you that won't fit your test. So it makes your life easy as a maintainer, and you don't have to review really bad patches that people upload for your module. Requirements. You have to patch Drupal 6 core. The reason this will never go into Drupal 6 is because of PHP 4 support. Simpletest just requires PHP 5.1 because of the simple XML extension. So this will never happen in Drupal 6. You can download Pressflow or patch core to activate simpletest. You need the CURL extension to download stuff. It's always said wget stupid. Of course it's CURL you're using as browser, not wget stupid. Sorry for this. Then you just have to set up a new module, a tests folder with my module.test, and that's basically it. Requirements mean Drupal 7 is a bit difficult to test because it's slow as hell. If a test runs in Drupal 6 around 1 minute, in Drupal 7 it will be 10, 15 minutes. That's because of InnoDB. InnoDB tables creation is slow as hell. There's no really workaround. You do some fancy stuff like load the database into a virtualized file system. Just look at Node 466972. There's some good speed up tests. I believe the total test suite of Drupal 7 can be run in 30 or 45 minutes, but still it's slow, so just get used to it. The base classes. The base classes of simpletest reside in Drupal web test case.php if you just look inside of the module. And there are two main classes, Drupal web test case and Drupal unit test case. The main difference between those classes is that the web test case class is stuff you do with the browser, and the unit test is isolation. Unit test means you don't even have a DB. You just run your function and see if it works. Don't ask me how you do really complex testing. I don't think it's main reason why people do unit testing. It's a very precise test if the function is doing what you expect, and you have to do a mock-up environment if you need something more complex, even a mock-up. DB connection has to be created if you still want to use some database with the modules. So unit testing can be a pain. So the most time used Drupal web test case. This is a browser thing. Drupal creates a page with our module files, and we check the contents of this page if it fits to our requirements. This is all object-oriented, so you can easily set up your own base class by inheritance. So you just do whatever your module is called, a base extension that doesn't really go into simpletest, so it misses the getInfo method, and then just do next inheritance step with OP and do a real implementation of the class that uses getInfo. GetInfo is the function that Okay, later. Let's just go through the structure and then we take a look at code. GetInfo is the function that gives us name, description, and group of our module. The module will then show up in the list I showed you before. Let's plain and easy. Then we call setup. Setup is a quite interesting function because in setup, the simpletest case we are just using will set up